And now, as we begin this hour of Home Talk, the man from the Bayou Land and the host of the show, the Cajun Contractor, Michael King.
Yay! That's right. I'm the originator. Not to duplicate it, please. All right. Okay, let's start the show. My first guest, his name is Brian Delahutte. He is the Vice President of MK Diamond Products. We're going to be talking about this very unique tile saw for construction projects. And I understand Brian's on the line right now. Hey, Mr. Brian, how you doing, my friend?
What's happening, Michael? How are you?
I'm doing fine, my friend. We're going to educate a lot of people in America about your company. And we're going to talk about this innovative tile saw. Tell us a little bit about MK Diamond Products, the company itself. Give us a little history.
So MK Diamond Products has been around since 1868. It's been held by a privately held company since then. It was owned by a Mr. Musto, and he was from San Francisco. And Mr. Musto believed that the product really represented the brand, and one of his famous sayings was, good enough was never good enough. And my father, who actually owns the company now, has lived by that mantra for the last probably 35 years since he's owned the company, and has basically instilled that into every product that we produce. So, again, we pass it down one generation to the other. It's an American company. We make everything here in Torrance, California, and we make it all with American-made parts.
Well, let's talk a little bit about MK Diamond Tile Saw. I mean, hell, I can go to a box store right now, and it gets kind of confusing. You don't know what's a good quality tile saw, what's a cheap one, how you tell the difference. To be honest with you, Brian, it's just confusing. And unless you know the brand, specific brand you deal with, then you have a little history about the company. With that being said, what is the strongest case you can make to my listeners to say, okay, if I go to this box store, I really want you to consider this about MK Diamond Tile Saw? What would it be?
Well, I think it's the support. I mean, the first thing is that because we make everything here in America, we have all the parts that are available should you need them at any time during the life of the saw. Two is that our customer service is very knowledgeable and will help you through any of the problems that you might have with any of your cutting needs. So, I mean, you're not getting a big box store that, you know, creates that impersonality with the product. I mean, you've got somebody or a company that embraces these products and understands, and through a lot of our conversations with our customer also is experienced in different cutting facets that a customer might experience. So I think, you know, that's the thing is that makes us different is that you can pick up the phone, and if you want to call and you want to talk to the president of the company, ask for Bob Delahutte, and he'll pick up the phone and he'll have a lovely conversation with you, because that's what he has embraced throughout the entire organization. It's all about the personal side of the business and making sure that your needs as a customer are met.
Okay. With large format tiles really becoming popular in the market these days,
Yep.
Which tile saw really provides the most capabilities for cutting right now?
So what's happening in the industry right now, and I just came back from this Tile and Stone show, is that the tiles are becoming larger and larger, and I think it's just more of a design preference. But the saw that we have seen an increase in overall business and customer requirements is the MK212, which is a 4-foot and a 6-foot format. This saw is built with stainless steel rail that is ground and polished, so it has approximately over the entire length of the cut, whether it be 4 feet or 6 feet, can be off no more than about 3 thousandths. So it's all about the precision. And when you're dealing with these larger format tiles, the challenge that you have is that if you have to make a cut, you want to make sure that that cut is perfectly straight.
I guess I would like to know, why is electrical power always a consideration, say, when purchasing a saw? I think that's a fair question.
Well, I mean, a lot of the homes in the United States, you know, I mean, even though they're calling out 110 as the power at the outlet, and it can vary as much as 10%. And so the challenge that you have with any power tool, especially these types of saws, is that once you get them onto an extension cord, and you're running a fairly long length, let's say 50 to 100 feet of extension cord, there's a significant voltage drop that comes off of that. And so all of the saws that we produce are designed to operate within that 10% range, so that if you do see that drop, you're not going to burn up the motor, that there is enough of a start-run capacitor capability that provides enough power to the saw so that you can operate it. And this is especially true at new homes as well as older homes that are being remodeled. It's just a function of our infrastructure, is that there is such a variation in the amount of voltage that we see. And so we try to give the customer as much capability as he can have, given that distance.
Well, Brian, hold that thought right there. We got to take a short break.
Okay.
We're talking to Brian Delahunt. He is with the company called MK Diamond Products. We're learning a little bit about their tile saws. Now, just for the break, though, Brian, I was talking a little bit about, about your company, a little bit about the tile saw, some benefits. We talked about electrical power, why it's so important. But I need to ask you this. Why is it so important to really lubricate your saw after every use? And one of the popular ways that I know of is WD-40. Why, in your opinion, you want to, say, re-recommend what you want to recommend for lubrication of a bearing and such? I mean, why not WD-40?
Well, Michael, the reason is that WD-40 actually dries the surface of, for example, like the guide bar that runs the table on our tile saws. And we have a linear bearing that has been impregnated with oil. And so if you put WD-40 on there, it actually dries it out and it causes it to stick. So we actually recommend a light machine oil, or we actually have a special oil that has a molybdenum base that actually provides more lubrication than a WD-40 would provide.
Okay, very well said. Now, why do contractors really need a saw that has a heavy-duty motor and maybe an additional start capacitor, in your opinion?
Well, we talked about this earlier in our conversation, is that it's all about the electrical power. If you've got a heavy-duty motor, it's going to be less susceptible to power fluctuations, and you're going to get the quality of the power delivered right to the blade that you need in order to make the right types of cuts. So, again, our saws all come with start-run capacitors, where if you look at a lot of the saws from other competitors, they don't come with those capacitors, which store the electricity so that you can operate that motor at its peak performance.
Well, Brian, why is the selection of the blade important, in your opinion?
The blade is probably the most important aspect of the saw. And the reason is because depending on the type of material that you're cutting, we have something like 15,000 different blades, and they're all designed for different materials. Now, that's not for the tile side, but in the tile side, I mean, we go from soft body tile all the way through glass, and we have different quality levels and grades for performance. Everything is in the blade. It's all about the type of diamond concentration as well as the quality of the diamond that we use that provides the best type of cut.
Why should I use, say, a dressing stick to really improve the cut of that blade, though?
Well, because, again, the diamond actually has a sharp edge, and when it's cutting some of the harder porcelain-type tiles, the diamond edge actually starts to wear, and it kind of rounds over, and it becomes less and less effective. So the best way to open a blade up is to get a dressing stick, and you can do that either with one that we sell, or if you're on a job site and you've got a problem with the blade, you can always use a red clay brick that is abrasive, and you just use that cut through it maybe 2 or 3 times, and that'll open the blade right back up, and you'll expose brand new diamond on the blade. And that's how these blades work, is they're always constantly exposing new diamond to effectively provide a better cut.
Now, say when using porcelain tile, is it important to consider that porcelain tile does not have that cap or that bevel edge? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. And, that's one of the big problems with porcelain tile is they just don't have the caps or the profiling on there. So when you're doing a job, and let's say you're putting tile up alongside a wall and you want to end it and you want to, let's say halfway up that wall, you don't want it to have a flat surface. You want it to have a nice bevel look. And so we actually make a machine that's relatively inexpensive that you can use for actually profiling any tile or stone to put an edge on that if you can't find it available at your local tile store. Okay.
Let's talk about the future. I mean, what new products is MK Diamond really introducing, say, to meet homeowners and contractors' needs?
So one of the new products that we've got right now is the MK60. It's a little handheld, versatile tile saw that you can use with a vacuum, and it comes with a jig. I believe the list price is around $159 for the whole setup, and it's for those quick jobs that you need to do as a contractor or even as a homeowner where you've just got to make a few cuts, where you don't need to actually have to buy a large expensive tile saw. And so that's one of the things that we're looking at right now to introduce in the next couple of weeks. But it also has, and I share this with you because you can freehand with it because it's got a laser guide on it that will allow you to get into tight areas and be able to make the cuts that you need to make. So that's kind of the direction that we're going because we see a lot of homeowners that want to have something small and simple.
Well, my friend, we're out of time. Go ahead and give us a website. How can we learn more about you guys?
Okay, so we're at www.mkdiamond.com. And if you want to talk to me personally, you can get on live chat, and I'm always on live chat 24/7. So if you have a question, and Michael, you can't answer it, feel free to contact us, and we'll be more than happy to make sure that we solve your problem.
You got it, my friend. Thank you so much, Brian Delahunt.
Thank you
for being our guest. All right, we're going to have to run.